Our last guest from the community, we go again once around the world, back out of Europe, back to Australia. And I am very, very happy to welcome Leon. Leon Tribe, and you're going to share a special recipe with us.
Yes, absolutely. Thanks, Bastian, and thank you for everything you're doing. It's fantastic the work you've done and giving us all the opportunity. If I see you as the graceful swan on the surface, and of course underneath is Hannah, madly paddling, making this all look beautiful and smooth. But that's not what I'm here. I'm here to talk about making sugar-free sugar syrup. I'm the circuit breaker. There's been some fantastic noble causes and discussions had, and I don't have any of those today. I'm talking about how to make sugar syrup. So I'll start with how I started the journey, and that was with this book. So now I am Australian, which means I speak fast. Don't worry, it is a short talk, so I'm not going to speak slowly, but I will be providing links to this in the Facebook discussion chat underneath the thing. So this is the book that all started it. This is Better Cocktails Through Chemistry. This is written by a type 1 who liked cocktails. And he was lamenting the fact that a lot of cocktails got lots of sugar and with alcohol, and alcohol's quite tricky if you're an insulin-independent diabetic. So he took the sugar out of it. So he's made all cocktails. That got me on the path of making sugar-free limoncello, which I now do at Christmas. And I do that, and I used to use a product called Splenda, which is a commercial product. But because of COVID, it just wasn't in the supermarket. I couldn't find it, and so I had to scratch my head, had to get creative. And then I found on Amazon, rather than getting sucralose, rather than getting Splenda, which is a mix of a product called sucralose, which is really, really sweet, but you don't need a lot of it, and dextrose, which is problematic, can be problematic for diabetics anyway, because it can spike sugar. I found I could get pure sucralose, and that's what this is. So this is pure sucralose. This was a product that was discovered in 1976 by a couple of chemists who were looking at modified glucose, and they were just looking at the properties. And basically one of them said, "Oh, I've created this new molecule. I've created this product." And the other guy said, "Oh, you should test it." And English being what it is, he misheard, and he thought he said, "You should taste it." And so literally, much to the horror of the other chemist, he put his finger in and tasted it. It was really, really sweet. And that was the birth of sucralose. This little bag, I'm going to put a link for the 50-gram bag. This is the 100-gram bag. This is equivalent to 100 cups of sugar. That's how sweet this stuff is, hundreds of times sweeter than sugar. So the other thing you need to make sugar syrup is you'll need a little spoon like this, which is a one, and then you can do it. The other thing you'll need is some kind of pump like this. So this is actually a sugar-free syrup which ran out. And then what you do, and again, I'll post this recipe in the discussion, is you get a cup of water. You put 1/8 of a teaspoon of this in the water which you heat up in a pot. Once it's dissolved, which will be very quick, you cool it down, you put it in the pump, and that is literally the recipe, right? So it was a long talk for a very quick recipe. 1/8 of the sucralose, a cup of water, cool it down, you put in the pump, and this just acts like sugar. I use this every day for my coffee, and it works a treat. Sucralose is largely invisible to the body. The body doesn't really see it as food, so it goes straight through your body, doesn't cause intestinal distress or anything. And it's just a nice, easy way to make sugar syrup. As I say, I'm about to post the recipe in the chat, so obviously that went quite quick. And thank you again, Bastian, and have a great day, everyone.
Thank you, Leon. And the reason we always like having you is, we don't do commercials or something like that on Doc Day, but with you it's always so funny because you come up with something strange. I remember first and last time I saw you on Doc Day, you took off your kind of hair bandana, something I could use now, but you used it for something completely different. You took it off, you cut it, turned it around and said, look, this actually becomes a cooling device for your insulin if you live in a place like Australia where it's really, really hot. And everybody was like, that's a good trick. And it was because it was some fleece material or etc. So it seems that every year you come up with a new, crazy, funky idea, and sometimes you turn it into a business, sometimes you just show it, but it comes from the heart, it comes from someone. This is also patient entrepreneurial spirit. So thank you for coming up with another idea of how to make, and I love cocktails, of course. So I wanted to end with that. Thank you very much, Leon.
All right.